Boxing isn't just about throwing punches. It's about heart, legacy, and the will to stand when the world expects you to fall. From dusty gyms to sold-out arenas, the heavyweight division has produced warriors who defined generations, men who carried the weight of nations on their shoulders and carved their names in stone with blood, sweat, and courage. Today, we're counting down the top 10 greatest heavyweight boxers of all time, not by hype, not by fame, but by real impact, records, and the stories that made them legends. Let's start from number 10, and trust me, you'll want to stay till the end. Number 10, Sonny Liston. He walked into the ring like a storm. Sonny Liston wasn't a talker, he was a destroyer. Born into poverty in Arkansas, Liston's early life was marked by hardship and run-ins with the law. But once he found boxing, his power became something the world couldn't ignore. Liston won the heavyweight title in 1962 by crushing Floyd Patterson in the first round, and then did it again in the rematch, another first-round knockout. For a time, he looked unstoppable. His jab was like a battering ram, his presence terrifying. Even Muhammad Ali admitted that Liston was one of the few men who truly scared him before their famous 1964 bout. Though controversy followed him, Liston's legacy as one of the most intimidating champions in history remains untouched. Number 9, Jack Dempsey. Before pay-per-view, before social media, there was Jack Dempsey, the Manasseh Mauler. He fought in an era when boxing was pure chaos and brutality. In 1919, Dempsey destroyed Jess Willard to become champion, knocking him down 7 times in the first round. Fans loved his aggression. He fought like he was starving, and every punch looked like it came from his soul. Dempsey wasn't just a fighter, he was the first true sports superstar in America. His fights drew record crowds, and his brawls helped make boxing one of the most popular sports in the world. He lost his title to Gene Tunney in 1926, but Dempsey's legacy as the man who brought violence and beauty together in the ring still lives on. Number 8, Mike Tyson. There's never been another like him. Iron Mike Tyson, the youngest heavyweight champion in history at just 20 years old. Tyson's rise was lightning fast. Trained by the legendary Cus D'Amato, he combined speed, power, and savage precision. Between 1985 and 1989, Tyson was a wrecking machine, flattening everyone from Trevor Berbick to Larry Holmes. At his peak, he was feared like no one else. Opponents often lost before the first punch was even thrown. But Tyson's story wasn't just dominance, it was also downfall. His prison sentence, loss to Buster Douglas, and later struggles reminded the world that even the most feared fighter can be broken. Still, Tyson's impact on boxing and pop culture is undeniable. To this day, he remains a symbol of raw power and explosive talent. Number 7, Evander Holyfield, the real deal. Holyfield was the only boxer in history to become undisputed champion in both cruiserweight and heavyweight divisions. He didn't have the one-punch knockout power of Tyson or Foreman, but he had something better, a heart that refused to quit. In 1996, he shocked the world by beating a prime Mike Tyson, and did it again in their infamous rematch. He was courage in motion, a true warrior spirit that defined the 1990s heavyweight era. Number 6, Lennox Lewis. Cool, calm, and calculated, Lennox Lewis was the definition of precision and discipline. Born in England and raised in Canada, Lewis was an Olympic gold medalist who later unified the heavyweight division, something only a handful of men have ever done. He beat everyone who ever stood in front of him, Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, and even avenged both of his career losses. Lewis wasn't loud, but he was one of the smartest fighters ever. His jabs did all the talking in the ring. His timing was flawless, and his ability to adapt mid-fight made him nearly unbeatable. When he retired in 2003, he left as the undisputed champion, and no one ever took his crown inside the ring. Number 5, Joe Frazier. Smokin' Joe was fire and fury packed in a 5 feet 11 inches frame. He became world champion in 1970 and went toe-to-toe with the greatest, Muhammad Ali. Their first fight in 1971, the fight of the century, saw Frazier hand Ali his first professional loss. That left hook that sent Ali sprawling in the 15th round remains one of the most iconic punches in history. Frazier's relentless pressure, head movement, and grit made him one of the toughest men to ever live. Even Ali called him the toughest man I've ever fought. Though their rivalry was brutal, It defined an era, two men pushing each other beyond the limits of pain and pride. Number 4, George Foreman. George Foreman was pure power. In the early 1970s, he looked unbeatable, knocking out Joe Frazier and Ken Norton in terrifying fashion. His punches sounded like thunder. When he fought Muhammad Ali in Zaire in 1974, the Rumble in the Jungle, the world expected Ali to fall. Instead, Foreman punched himself out, and Ali's rope-a-dope turned history on its head. But Foreman's story didn't end there. After retiring and becoming a preacher, Foreman made an unbelievable comeback, returning to boxing in his 40s and winning the heavyweight title at age 45, the oldest champion in history. From feared destroyer to beloved legend, George Foreman's journey remains one of the greatest redemption stories in sports. Number 3, Rocky Marciano. He retired undefeated, 49 wins, 0 losses. Rocky Marciano wasn't the biggest, fastest, or most skilled, but he was relentless. Standing only 5 feet 10 inches, Marciano's pressure style and devastating right hand, the Suzy Q, broke down every opponent he faced. He defeated greats like Jersey Joe Walcott, Ezra Charles, and Archie Moore before hanging up the gloves in 1956. Marciano's conditioning was legendary. He trained like every fight was life or death. No heavyweight has ever retired undefeated since, and that alone cements Marciano's place among the all-time greats. Number 2, Joe Louis. They called him the Brown Bomber, and for 12 straight years, he ruled boxing. Joe Louis made 25 successful title defenses, still a record today. He fought during a time when America was divided by race, and yet he became a national hero. In 1938, his rematch with German fighter Max Schmeling was more than a boxing match. It was seen as democracy versus fascism. Louis knocked Schmeling out in the first round, lifting an entire nation's spirit. He was powerful, technical, and humble. Joe Louis carried himself like a champion in and out of the ring, and his influence went far beyond boxing. Without Joe Louis, there might never have been an Ali. Number 1, Muhammad Ali. There's only one. Muhammad Ali wasn't just the greatest boxer, he was the greatest showman, activist, and fighter the world has ever seen. Born Cassius Clay, he won Olympic gold in 1960 and shocked the world by defeating Sonny Liston to become heavyweight champion. But what made Ali truly special was his courage, standing up against the Vietnam War, losing his title for his beliefs, and coming back stronger than ever. He fought in some of the greatest battles in history, the fight of the century, the Rumble in the Jungle, and the Thrilla in Manila. Ali's speed, movement, and charisma changed boxing forever. He floated like a butterfly, stung like a bee, and spoke words that inspired generations. Even long after his final fight, his influence lives on. Ali wasn't just a boxer, he was a symbol of strength, conviction, and humanity. He truly was the greatest. From Dempsey's roar to Ali's poetry, these 10 men defined what it means to be a fighter. Each carried their own era, their own story, their own scars. Boxing may evolve, but legends like these, they never fade. If you enjoyed this countdown, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because the stories of boxing's greatest will always have another round left to tell.